Just saying. So, brethren, we can't get caught up in this legalism, because it is the law that Christ has fulfilled on our behalf. And he didn't just fulfill 9 aspects of the 10 Commandments. He fulfilled all of it. Now, when it comes to the terms that the Bible uses as the abrogation of the law or the fulfillment of the law, people maintain and argue all day long, like I experienced today with one of my good sisters who I really believe is a believer. They can't distinguish the difference between the abrogation and fulfillment of the law from being forced to keep it, as was done under the old covenant. I would ask you, all of you who would maintain the argument that she does, what is the difference then? What is the difference between the abrogation or the fulfillment of the law and the way it was expected to be observed under the old covenant? What does it mean when Christ abrogated or put an end to the law, like Paul said in Romans 10 verse 4? That Christ is the end of the law to everyone who believes. What does that mean? What does it mean in Daniel when he says that Christ made an end of sins? That he finished the transgression? Daniel 9:24. I've been on this for the last month, almost. How is it that Christ made an end of sins? How did he abrogate the law? How did he fulfill it? How did he put an end to it? What did he mean? What do the scriptures mean when it says these things? Because it has to be something different than what it was under the old covenant. And if Christ is the testator of the new covenant, then it was by his death that the law under the old covenant was put away. Why? Because he died to that law and was raised to give us a newness of life that does not fall under the auspices of strict law keeping as they did ceremonially under the old covenant. You have to explain how it changed, because it did change. Something changed. And if you don't understand that change, you don't understand any part of the gospel. Let me say that again. If you don't understand how the law and its use toward us, if you do not understand how it is changed by the death of Christ, then you don't understand the gospel at all. You can't. Because we are told that all of our sin, which is a violation and a transgression of God's law. Our sin, we are sinners because we are transgressors of God's law. Transgressions, by the way, that Daniel tells us the Messiah would put away when he died. So when Christ raised from the grave, our sin was cast as far away from us as the north is, as the south, as the east is from the west. Our sin is remembered no more. Not up to that day, but before that day, at this day, and all future sins forgiven to the one who is justified by faith and not by law. Those of you who seek to be justified by law will be condemned by that very same law. And if you believe that salvation comes by law keeping, and you believe that you're going to be saved through law keeping, you are sadly mistaken, misguided, and deluded. And you also make the work of Christ on the cross a superfluous endeavor having no real value. Be provoked, be persuaded.